I am Susan Downey. I'm one of the executive producers of Perry Mason, and I am half of Team Downey, the production company behind the show.
My name is Robert Downey Jr. I am also an executive producer on said Perry Mason. So initially, Perry Mason was it was gonna be a movie.
It did. It came as a feature, but it was just too rich a world, too many things we wanted to explore, and we knew we wanted to have one case drive it, but we had all these other facets we wanted to explore, and it just seemed like a project that was asking to be a series instead.
Are you being cheated out of life's thrills?
Probably.
There is no origin story for Perry Mason, so it was fertile ground. If you look at any of the movies done, previous shows, even the books, they don't give you a lot about who he was. So for us, it was, how do we create a character who is that guy?
Chubby's setting sail. Hey, get out in front of him, I'll fall from behind.
When we first meet Perry, he's not even a lawyer yet. Because if you read the books, for the most part, he's doing PI type of work. He's almost never in the courtroom. And he figures out a lot of what happened by just hitting the streets, knowing the ins and outs of the law, what he could get away with. And we thought that was a pretty exciting starting point.
Gas! 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 Gas!
We arrived at Perry being a soldier because we felt like it really helped us understand why we got to find Perry at a place in his life where he's returned but hasn't really picked up the pieces of his life yet.
And I think the dilemma of that, then going into the depression, and then what his home life is like, and then the fact that he hasn't made much of himself because of the unfortunate discharge that he had from the Army. In World War I, people just had no idea what they were in for. It was a much more naive generation. So I love that Perry has a little bit of that naivete, and he's paid for it dearly.
While we don't go all the way through anything that he faced, we know by the character that we met how much it damaged him.
And you need me why, Evie?
Because some friend of his is in trouble, the police are involved, and you're good at your job.
And then the case of a lifetime comes to him through EB. At first, he's not sure he wants to take on something so heavy, but when he sees someone innocent like Emily, who made choices that weren't smart at the time, he is driven to clear her name, I think in a way that his name wasn't cleared for him in the past.
We want Perry to be a bit of a trauma case, because when he sees it repeating itself in these events that are going on around him, there's part of him that says, that's a war I couldn't win, this is a war I have to fight.
My name is Perry Mason. I represent Emily Dodson.
What's exciting to see, and Matthew plays it so well, is that when Perry first becomes a lawyer, it is a total disaster.
Would you look a minute, Mr. Mason?
Anything that's worth doing is worth doing poorly, and Perry gets to demonstrate that to the umpteenth degree in episode 6. I also love the fun that's in there. When someone says, it's hard to be a good lawyer.
You may have heard I'm new to this.
Objection, sustained.
See what I mean?
He's just a bad lawyer right now.
Perry Mason, Esquire, may I come in?
Of course.
And it's a total roller coaster ride, because even if he's doing the right thing in court, people aren't playing by the same set of rules that he's playing by.
That's not exactly legal.
No, Mr. Mason, it's not, but it is something I can live with.
He has to make choices along the way on where he's willing to bend and play in the gray areas to keep his client free.
And you're as hell-bent as he is on covering this up!
What you doing when speaking to me, Mr. Mason?
It's gonna get way more chaotic before it finds any version of what someone might consider a conclusion. Not one character will come out unchanged.
It's bananas.